Hi, welcome to the back porch with Feltalala. So, bonus succulent time. You've watched the video that made the cactus and the hen and chick and the donkey tail for our succulents in a teacup. And here, if you've stuck with me, is a little tiny bonus flowering cactus. Really simple fella to put together. So, you've got this little bit of moss green, and we want to make the little cactus body of that. So I'm going to roll it up, roll it and tap it. So again, we're entangling and compressing. So I'm folding those edges in and tapping it to compress it. And I will just keep doing that. Rolling and folding over. There are a variety of ways to make a sphere. One is to tie a knot. You have your string and you tie a knot, and that becomes the center of your sphere. Other people will roll the wool onto a stick and take it from that rolling to a sphere. But I've made a lot of these at this point, and I've decided that this is the simplest technique, the most effective for me. So roll, 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 tap, 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 tap. Folding those edges over. And I'll bet you there are even more than those three. So many people have their own way to do this. And maybe that's part of the joy of the felting process, that you can succeed at it in so many ways. And what works for you works for you. You don't have to do it the way somebody else does it. No, you don't. And with these little guys, too, I'm not too worried about my sphere at this stage, it being perfectly spheroid. Because what I'm going to do, once I have it somewhat together like this, is that I'm going to go back to that using my hands. I'm going to roll it. So any of those little chunks that I have, any of those little bulges and bobbles, are going to be smoothed out with this rolling. And then I can go around and tap, tap, tap it. So my feeling with spheres is that you've seen how many of them in your lifetime? Thousands? Tens of thousands? Do you know what they look like? You don't have to overthink this. Just keep turning it, and if you come across a little piece of vegetative matter in your wool, pull it out. There you go. So you see, like, it bumps out a little bit in one spot. Just tap that little spot in. Da-da! And you're good. So this fellow, I actually want him to be a little squat. A little tiny little pumpkin sphere squat. So I'm going to push him down to make him, to add to that squatness. If I see any pieces to that shape that I don't love, I can just tap them in. But I'm pretty comfortable with where it is. There are things that we felt that need to be very, very firm because we're felting onto them elements, like for doing something that has a face or something that has a lot of decoration. You want the base to be very firm so that it doesn't lose its shape as you're adding things to it. But in this guy's case, I think that's fine. So I've made him a little smaller, which is funny because usually I make things larger the second time around. Okay, so then these stripes. If you want to do the stripes, you just take your white and twist it. Twist, 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 twist. Attach here. Okay. And then it's going to bring it right around to the other side. A little taut, and that will help it to know where it needs to go. And you see, as I tap it in, it's because my sphere isn't that tight. It's causing this little bumple, which in fact I kind of like in my succulent, in my little baby cactus here. Then I'm just going to go around and tap it in all the way around. You might want to go and do that a few times. And then I have this bit coming off, so I'm going to make sure that it's attached there, and then I'm going to come this other way with it. It's not going to go all the way around because it's not long enough, but that's okay. So I can start up again, but it does do half of it on this side. Then tap, 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 tap. Tapping in that line. I hope you can see that. And then I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to twist it. Twist, 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 twist. Make my tiny little cactus. Come around to that top again. Attach it. And then go back along that line and make sure that it's firmly in there so that it stays, right? So that you don't lose your line. That's just a gentle tapping. Okay. And then I need just one more. I keep moving my mat up. There you go. This fellow is so small. Make him larger if you want. I think he's pretty adorable though. So if your lines are messy, you just go back and clean them up a bit. Attach them. This one's quite thin. Okay. And this guy goes here. And I feel good about that. All right, so tiny little bonus squash. And I think I'm going to make 3 because the 2 looks odd to me. So I'm going to plan for 3 cactus flowers. But I think that I will, like I did before, I think I will deconstruct this one and reconstruct over onto our little guy. Okay, so to make that shape, I went and I attached, I didn't attach, right? I'm just rolling, I'm rolling the wool around that end, and maybe don't have this coming into your hand. Maybe let that point the other way. And so I hold it on one end so that I have it firmly and I just roll. And this way I'm getting a tube, a tubular shape. Okay. And then do some of that friction felting we talked about before. So I have this little green thread that attached itself. I'm just going to pull that out because I don't really want it there. But if you like it, certainly plants will have little striations. So if, because you've got another a string of another kind of wool in there, if that means that you have little striations in it and you enjoy it, then go for that. And then I went with a yellow, tiny little yellow. You see, I made this guy littler, maybe to go with the size of our cactus. I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to tap it into the end very gently so that my orange cactus flower has a little yellow bloop coming out of the middle. Plant biologists, what would you call that bloop? Is it a petal? Is it a petal? Is that how cactus flowers work? You see, I'm just tapping it in so that he has a yellow top. Being careful, not going slowly. I'm being careful not to stab myself. Okay, he looks pretty cute. He looks a little wonky at the top, but honestly, I don't hate it. It feels cactusy to me. But if you don't like the wonk, then go ahead and keep tapping at it to refine the look that you want. I'm comfortable with that. All right, so we have these three. Two are bigger than the others. I can compress these now too, just by rolling them. If I don't like how thick they are, if I want them to be thinner, to go with this guy. I can wet my dry hand so that they're more alike. I can do that. Little roll these cactus flowers. So 1, 2, 3. One is taller than the others. I don't think that's bad. So it could go in the tiny cactus, these flowers, or they could go in this size of a cactus. You're going to make the larger one. I think we're going for this guy. And then I'm just entangling the fibers of the cactus flowers with the fibers of the kind of gourd shape that we made, the body of this little squat patty pan cactus. Don't Google patty pan cactus because I made up that word just now. If it's a kind of cactus, that's a coincidence. I just think that he looks a little bit like a patty pan. Okay. My handsome little fella. So then I'm going to add him to what I have here. And I think he just wants to tuck in right there behind the larger cactus. There you go. And go ahead and Google cacti, right? Flowering succulents, and see what you get. We've sent you a number of colors, so you can go ahead and use your own imagination. You can make the ones that I've made, but you can also, there, just want them to be attached. You can also make something else entirely. It is up to you. So see how he's hanging over? I want him to stand up a little more tall. And I have no idea why I keep giving these succulents masculine pronouns. I don't know about, once again, I don't know about their biology or about their gender expression. I have no idea. So, there we go. Silly me. Silly me. All right, there we go. There we go. Cactus in a vintage teacup. So you may have, when you bought this from us, you may have bought a vintage teacup, It's also a lovely project to do with family members who maybe are giving you their collection of vintage teacups, or giving all of the family members one, and everybody could make a succulent ornament that they can then use and look at and enjoy. It's a nice thing to do with the old family china. So I do hope that you enjoyed making the succulents in the teacup. If you have any questions, I'm at Pamela@feltalala.com, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Or go to feltalala.com, the website, or comment on the video, and I will respond. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for joining me. You make beautiful things.